I see turtle. I've eaten food. I've put eye drops in my eyeball twice. Well, eyeballs. But I wake up, look at the mirror, and a good half of my eyeball on one side is just completely red. Nice little, like, red splotch and a lot of, like, red veins. Hi, Grandma. I had leftover rice that I cooked in the rice cooker. That I cooked with beef stock, mushrooms, shallots. There's peas in there, various spices, and I also chopped up some spam to put in it. Delicious leftover rice. But what I think has happened with my eyeball, because it doesn't look like it doesn't look like that there's like blood underneath the eye, and it's on the surface. So I think a rogue pair of eyelashes got stuck between my eyelid and my eyeball last night, because it didn't look like this yesterday. So I think it rubbed that area raw a little bit. And it's really, really, really dry here right now. Or at least it was earlier. My eyeball hurts. It hurts to blink, which you don't really realize how often you blink, or lack thereof, when things like this happen. You tried nigiri and sashimi the other day? Sounds delicious. I think that I have gyoza in the freezer. But we had pasta last night and it was delicious, and I might have some of that later. But yeah, my eyeball right now kind of hurts, and I probably should try to figure out a way to not blink, but I can't use medical tape to keep like a cotton pad or something in place. So it's gonna have to suffer, I guess. Okay, 9th of January, SS Buria, Miss Pavlova's cabin. Just how I'm sitting real quick. Somehow the door to the cabin where we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath and gently slid back the bolt. That's right, because last time... Of course, that we're gonna get caught almost immediately. Last time, we found out that an emergency stop on the ship, an abrupt stop, knocked over all the books on the shelf, and it also bolted the door shut. So we have ruled out a way that that the door was locked from the inside, that nobody else was able to get it in. The door probably wasn't even locked in the first place. And now we're about to get in trouble. What are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? You both look unhurt. Good. Oh, so Naga. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. How did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. I know, Face. The Susato flip. Feel better? The Susato flip. Susato will flip me if I don't. Oh, won't that just make me worse? I guess as long as she's not hitting my eyeball, I'm fine. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming, crew are running everywhere. As long as I don't blink too much, my eyeball will be fine, I guess. But I probably should be blinking more because then my eye is more lubricated. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? You wicked intruder dressed in all in black. You were the devil. Sorry, me, but I've been called a lot of things, but devil is the first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. Yes? How'd she know he's an inspector? Was that stipulated at some point that they found out he's an inspector? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man. Dad, he is a stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right. You are a devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There is cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Are they gonna let me investigate with and talk while we do this? Okay. Are we gonna talk about the lock or the fact that the book fell over? You caught the contradiction in my testimony. I certainly wasn't the one who put maple syrup in your eye drops. Maybe that'll keep my eye closed. Putting maple syrup in my eye drops? I don't know if that's what caused the abrasion on my eyeball. Okay, let's see. My good sir. Why? Why is he like this? Just like slightly out of view, you turn and then frickin' Herlock Sholmes is hanging from a coat hanger. You can tell that it's really well mounted to the wall because my god. Okay, let's see here. I just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Don't touch my things. You want me to show you where crawfish hibernates? Oh, there it is. Naruhodo-san, what do you think you're doing? Wow, everyone's attacking me and I was just starting to think she was my friend. Oh my god, I titled this perfectly. I titled this stream very well. Is there anyone who could help me out of this mess? So I guess I could just, in general, because they're not going to let me look around the room. Herlock Sholmes, get off the coat hanger and help me. What are you doing up there? Now he's wearing the crown, you goober. Mr. Sholmes. Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective it is my business to know what other people do not? I don't think you need to know that bit. Oh my god. Doesn't he look fabulous? Look at that. Fits his hat perfectly. This isn't a mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why were you hanging from the hook before then? Isn't it obvious to properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles naturally? I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. Did you have an argument with the wall hook, my good sir? You're awake, Kaisai. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Oh, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak. An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of curious murder that took place last night here on the vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved by me, naturally. Oh God, how... Oh? Why are you so startled there, ma'am? What? Really? I hope it doesn't incriminate me further. Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I'm about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. This will be fun. You have solved it. Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is the stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. You put me in handcuffs beforehand. There was no need to not prove or prove anything. You just put it on me. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. And now we know that is Bulldookie. As the emergency stop when she arrived on the ship last night caused the door to lock. That means the culprit must have been someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Locked room, that is point. The room was locked. Why so many extra periods? Well, I can't deny that. But now, there's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you as we speak. A ventilator. The ventilator? I like that he laughs because we only know that he would definitely never fit in the ventilator. You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. I mean, if you were a tiny ballerina, that would make sense. I mean, there's also a possibility that her snake got into the room. But it is, and last night the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m., I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Sai is awake, alert, and ready to detective. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Oh yeah, heat detecting. Where's the snake? Speckled band. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold. Oh. What the? Where is the snake? Oh, that's a big boy. That's a big baby. Oh. Oh. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The speckled band. A snake. Indubitably. Snake. What kind of snake is that? Oh. He's so calm while he has a snake wrapped around his noggin. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray what troubles you. Yeah, it is striped. Well, I mean, you could argue that the scales are speckled. Because if you're seeing it like in the middle of the night when you're tired at like 1:35 in the morning, that they said he saw this. I beg to differ that you could say speckled. Is it really speckled? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Hmm? That is true. Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the striped band. Wouldn't you? Oh, he giggled. You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that that is precisely the trap in which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again, but she's already very pale. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? Oh! Oh my god, he can't even speak! That looks terrifying. Looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Sieben. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. I am still so sad that we have lost a friend in this situation. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. Aching heart? It is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that pretentious night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded the vessel, was it not? Ah, as I expected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. Is there a possibility that those two are related? I didn't think about this until now. Because now I have a feeling I know why he's so calm. And the fact that he has all of these lines on his face, it's from the snake. These two know each other. Oh my goodness. And yet the facts leaves us in a conundrum? Oh my god, the snake. Quandary. The victim's written observation at night in question tells of a speckled band. You have strawberries? I'm sad. The strawberries I had went bad. The only thing I have left is apples, mandarins, and grapes. I don't even know if the grapes are still good. This specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. Oh, did I? Wait. I think I missed a piece of dialogue there. Oh? The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas, regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit the description in any way. What explanation can we then give? Pray, what was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? What are you hiding in your pocket? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary? Even now, hidden behind your back. Oh! Oh, it was shedding. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? No, I think... No, that's probably something that just covers up the snake because it's cold outside. Snakes go into hibernation during cold. And for the fact that the snake is shedding its skin, it wouldn't look as speckled like that when the snake itself is stripy. I might have to change things up a bit there. I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it sours its skin. No, I think we're gonna have to adjust that. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. We're gonna have to adjust that a little bit. A beloved speckled snake. Conclusion 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. Like, he has... Maybe it's more like a constriction than anything else, but if he was constricted, there would be marks. And he wasn't actually bit by the snake. Like, he did have... What was it? Is the autopsy report. Postmortem report. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken as a result of a strong blow to the area. So he would have to have been smacked But the thing is, that would also... Oh. I think I know what happened. I think he fell and hit his head on the desk probably, and... Okay, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. Due to said emergency stop last night to let Pavlova onto the ship, resulted in no prior warnings to the ship stopping like that. So Kazuma fell over, hit his head on probably something inside the cabin, broke his neck as a result because no external injuries, it's just the way that he landed. And the other person, I don't think it was... I want to say I don't think that... Well, actually, how would the door lock after the fact if the ship had already had a sudden stop? Because I do think it was one of the other... it probably was the bulkier crewman who wrote down the Russian letter for... or the Russian word for wardrobe? Maybe... I feel like this was all an accident. But they tried to cover things up, making it seem like it was something horrible? Oh, we'll see how this goes then. I can't put entirety of 2 and 2 together, but I think he smacked his head on something and broke his neck by landing. How did this young man lose his life and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. They had to change that too, it's not poison. Supposedly. Now, if we take this as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. I think the skid mark is probably, of his shoes, is probably what's going to cause this. I think he just landed on his neck, and that's how he died. That's so unfortunate. The almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wound left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snakebite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Ms. Pavlova. After the incident, you have endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? He really goes to the extremes with his deductions, doesn't he? Indeed, you put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duties, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Oh my god. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature need only sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There could be no doubt my logic is infallible. It's kind of dubious at the moment. Don't worry, we can fix that. Just gonna have to point him in the right direction. This concludes Herlock Sholm's great deduction of the speckled band. I just... He certainly knows that snake. That snake and him are best friends. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There, on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible. You've solved the mystery. Hi, Jack. Amazing, your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. I feel like this can fall through very easily, your deduction here. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Yeah, break apart his deductions, Susato. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Something doesn't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. Wonder if he's gonna get any other, like, JoJo poses going on. And, reptiles don't drink milk. Well, you can beg to differ that if an animal is a pet, they're not gonna be entirely eating their normal dietary, needs. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter, no doubt Ms. Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example, the logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. They technically do. Yeah, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. No, I'm pretty sure snakes do have ears. They can hear. They have extra sensories for other things, but they can hear. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Oh, sorry, my eyes itchy. 1 sec. I am making sure that I'm not scratching the other eye. Because the other eye is the one that has the problem right now. Oh my god. Yeah, reptiles have tiny holes on the side of their head. The same thing with birds. Birds have little ear canals. Owls have, like, asymmetric ear canals. Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So I'm not really sure that snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in the cabins. Yeah, but they can grab onto things through coiling. And that's what he's currently doing to the face of the crewman here. I will say that it is kind of like soft and dangly that it might not be able to really do that, but I don't see how it's impossible. Please don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Oh, now you're just gonna make him sad, completely unraveling his deduction. Oh? I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. All right, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? Just set me free. Goodness. Your handcuffs are gone. Where'd they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Here we go again. Gotta correct his mistakes. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Okay. I can't remember exactly what was told to me before that I might have to mess around a little bit to get things figured out. So this one might be a little bit lengthy. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. Her wrist? She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? There could be another way to interpret her expression then. Let's take a moment and really look closely at Miss Pavlova. It's probably her wrist that's in pain. Oh. Why is there like a cat scratch? Why is he... Nobody else is in here but him. Why is this? Look at that snake. Claw scratch. Why is there a claw scratch?
Yes!
Baby girl! Emily has emerged from the closet. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, the claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and a simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. No wonder she's been, like, clutching her hands every time that we speak with her. Otherwise, she had the gloves on when she was posing as Roylott. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? Is there another animal on board? Is there a cat? When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse. Oh? And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that pretentious night? Why naturally it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? As I expected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. It has to be him. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Oh, she has a cat here? Is the snake just his pet? Oh, here we are. Photo frame. Yes! Present. Cat. I feel like the snake is his due to the fact of all of the like that coiled, stripy look of his face. It's because the snake is constantly on this man's head. You were looking over at this framed photographic print, weren't you, Miss Pavlova? Well, let's not be distracted by the print itself, oh no. It's a frame that is your friend, isn't it? Because it is so beautiful, displays whatever you put inside it. What spectacularly contrived logic led you to this mindless conclusion? Oh, well, it's supposed to be a logic and reasoning spectacular, so I thought I'd contribute to the show. This is my show, Mr. Naruhodo. Kindly perform any peculiar experiments on your own stage. Hey, you're the one that's been... Oh! Okay. Okay. So, then we can say that he's her friend? We can't be reasonably sure that Miss Pavlova's furtive glance was aimed at her friend. Okay. The heck? That really ought to narrow it down. Let me scout again. Oh, wait. That same friend is possibly responsible for the scratch on the back of her hand. We also know that whatever it is, this friend must be small enough to pass through the ventilator. What the heck? Let me scout around again in the direction she looked. The writhing serpent. I like how it's this teapot. Is there something specific about him? Like, is there anything else but around him? Because I can't look up or down. It's only... Maybe I should have saved beforehand. Okay, let's try, because it's... There's no way that the thing is hiding in the teapot, right? Can I try... him? There's no doubt, is there? She looked in this direction. Straight at, Seaman Stroganov. Well, they do seem to be friends of sorts, but I can't imagine how he could possibly fit through that ventilator. Don't forget that I managed to fit inside Kazuma's trunk when we first boarded the ship. I would have asked what that proves, but I think an... equivocal. equivocal little smile would be more effective. Oh my goodness. The only thing is the writhing snake and then the teapot. Is there something in the teapot? I wonder.
Yes.
Oh? Why? As most definitely not. I'm gonna go ahead and save in a different folder. In case I royally mess this up and then we're just gonna have to go through some dialogue again. Well, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. The truth, yes. Who could you have a more cozy relationship with than this shiny teapot? What's... Of course it's gonna... Can I just... I guess you might have to do the snake then. We can be reasonably sure that... That's the only thing that you can look at. Do you have to hit the frame again? Because it looks like that's a cat. But there's nothing... There's nothing else that you can look at. This is where the heck would the cat be? Do I have to hit the frame again to get to talking about the cat? Can you? No, it just says present. I know you can't see it because it's behind my body, but if I scroll over something, the only thing that it shows is present.
Baby girl. Hi.
I can't specifically investigate things. Am I supposed to mess up? You can. It doesn't say you can, but you can. But there's no... I just have to normally click on it instead of pressing present? The heck? Okay. Look at the photograph in this. Oh, the cat bell. Okay. Okay. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true, but personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that caught my... So it doesn't specifically say that you can investigate the items. You have to, like, mindlessly click on it. Interesting. Maybe we better take a closer look at this. A cat. Look at this little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could... It could vie with you, couldn't Naruhodo-san for the blackest outfit. A black kitten. And from the looks of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it. And then you have the bell that's on it. That must be a stage costume she's wearing. It's quite stunning. I should like to have something like that. And she's wearing that 20,000 rubles on her head as well. Look. It's called a tiara, Naruhodo-san, and you shouldn't think of it purely in terms of its value. She must be a strong-willed woman to turn her back on the world stage and run away all on her own. This is really weird that you could do it this way. Okay, so then present the kitten.
Yes!
There we go. Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. So I'll have to make sure that I actually remember to click with the buttons. I wonder if it's because we're doing it on computer with the with mouse and keyboard that might have a little bit of an issue with the differences, but I hate that it doesn't outright tell you like, oh, you can click this and investigate. I see why I was told to be able to investigate things in these deduction situations. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Making progress this time. Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in a conundrum. Conundrum? Is it just conundrum and then it's not... The U is not really pronounced? The victim's written observations on the night in question tells of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably... this specimen's markings do not fit the description in any way. It is a lot of confusion. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. But it does. You have the answer to this conundrum. Even now, hidden behind your back. I was probably just wrapped around the cat's neck, maybe? Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If you're trying to hide it, why wouldn't you just keep it in your pocket, silly? If she just left it in her pocket, no. Once again, two peas in a pod, Ryunosuke and I are. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known. Oh yes, ploys like that are Mr. Sholmes' specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was his specialty, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? It looks like a cat toy. It is a cat toy! That is totally a cat toy. I think she was trying to get the cat to come back over, maybe? Well, it is speckled and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort. And it looks like a handle at one end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. That's Naruhodo's special power 3D vision. Little do we know, it's back in the before days of technology, but he definitely has some special eyes. How is it a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them and they pounce to catch it. That sounds positively adorable. It is! Cat toy.
Yes!
Oh, do you want freedom? Hold on, let me text for your freedom. Hi, baby. Yes. Somebody's gonna open the door for you. Hold on. There you go. She's been sleeping in the closet this entire time. But it was funny as I was in my half-dead state of sleeping earlier today. I have some clothing that is on the floor that I have not put away properly. So it's kind of sitting in front of the closet. And Emily was trying to burrow her head into it. Like she was trying to get inside of the closet. But I find this really funny that she would do this because, you know, cats can jump and she knows that she could jump. But she didn't realize at first that she could jump over the clothing pile to get into the closet. So she was just trying to burrow her little head through it. Yes, the thing you were trying to, but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. That looks like an expensive cat toy. That's a premium, like, wood-carved handle. It was, this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there could only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Oh, yeah, the whistling too. In summary, the nature of this friend, Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. But that doesn't tell you about how he died. A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be, she must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. Photograph of Miss Pavlova and her friend, a kitten named Darka. The tiara she would wear on the stage can also be seen. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Maybe she was trying to share some of the chicken with her. With the cat. Darka, she's so naughty. A beloved kitten. Topic number 1, fixed. Now comes the fun part. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. Maybe he tripped over the cat. Maybe he tripped over the cat and then fell down and snapped his neck. Oh my god. That's even more of a worse way to die. What Mr. Shulm says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right, but Mr. Shulm seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. To the post-mortem report.
Yes!
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes, I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman That's a position. Oh my god, look at that pose. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be... Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose. It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. A bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? I think... I'm gonna go ahead and give this a save. A piece of small glass object and what looks like a scuff mark made by Kazuma-sama's shoes were found by the victim's body. So what I think happened is that he tripped over the cat and the cat's bell collar broke and he fell onto the floor.
Yes!
What a horrible way to die! Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my result, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glances betray the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over it and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that happened. Or that's what happened. But, and if this part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction is right, Ms. Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she's just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be somewhere. Is it in the trash can that was... That's the paper basket. Traveling. Let's see the... What's in the paper bin? The waste basket. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first class cabins have it. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. There it is. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you. We're gonna use the paper basket. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in the waste paper basket. We have here a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. I'm surprised that didn't fall into more, like, shattered pieces. Are you gonna stab me with that broken piece of plate? Don't say that. Precisely, we found another piece of broken glass on the floor of Mr. Asogi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? I'm still trying to find the proper timing of when the door got locked. You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know. In that hush or Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. It's a Breaking Bad reference. Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and this little glass bell, that would be the picture of the kitty.
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble... the cat. Your absent feline friend, Darka. Say, Peach, have you ever heard of a channel called /no? It's a channel with Tokyo funk music and lo-fi beats. It always uses cat thumbnails that I know you and every cat owner loves. I've seen a lot of like music compilation videos on YouTube have various cat photos. Cats are always popular. Cats will definitely get you to click on the thumbnail. I couldn't tell anyone. I am sorry. See, so does that mean that the room was not locked last night, and for the fact that she went in and grabbed one half of the... That she grabbed one half of the cat's bell? Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it safe to try to lure the kitten back again. By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the cabin, or into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Oh! Oh, the cat! The cat and subsequently Kazuma. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Buria is a large vessel, but even she can't pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as the result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, a combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. So then, if it was a turbulent sea the night prior, then even if the ship didn't do an abrupt stop, it could still cause the lock to shift closed and have everything fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? Oh, you're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it and where did it come from? He's just petting the snake. Oh my god. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board the ship? Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is... Piroshka? Hmm? Oh, what? Oh, and he says we were breaking the rules. He's been breaking the rules the entire time. That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. Did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend, without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, gargantuan venomous snake, surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Mm-hmm. Piroshko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He is adorable like Granny. Adorable like Granny. He's a constrictor. He's so cute. I do love that this snake is absolutely squeezing the life out of this man's face, but apparently it seems to be a daily occurrence if he has marks on his face due to it. I bet that's a pun in Russian. It would be funny if that's the case. Oh, it totally still could kill someone through choking. It's venomless. Yes, now he is hungry, so he's in bad mood, but once I feed him, you'll see very big smile. You feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha, like they say, they milk chickens? Milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Piroshko eats mouses. Big fat round mouses. Well, you can say if you have a snake on board, you can take care of any rat problem you have. That's how they usually did it with cats back in the days. Or back in the day, they would have cats on board the ships to take care of rat problems. Is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course, how else can I catch my friend's favorite food? The thing says top of the food chain, like the look in their eyes right now. I think it's because earlier they were trying, or Sholmes was trying to put two and two together that the snake was being trained for assassination purposes. And that the treat that the snake would get was the milk saucer on the ground. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord. And it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Piroshko is nothing to do with this incident. Snake. So apparently Piroshki is a kind of Russian bread. So if one were being very liberal with their translation, we could say the snake's name is Muffin. I love that. A snake named Muffin. That's adorable. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Sholmes. Wow, I got flipped not once, not twice, not 3 times, but at least 6 different times where I got suplexed onto the ground in handcuffs with everybody having a splitting headache from whatever rancid chicken they served yesterday. And my friend dies to tripping over a cat? Not even to assassins? Miss Pavlova. But there's an important question. Has the flips fixed your eyes? It has done no such thing. I may be tearing due to the pain of being flipped over and manhandled, but my eyeball still hurts. I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize? Yes, and I do sympathize, but please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. What else have we seen here? Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. What'd I miss? What'd I miss? I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. How that we're gonna stop by Hong Kong? What do you mean Scotland Yard? I'm only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you're not finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Yes, thank you, sir. Not again? When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were Mr. Sholmes. Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Kazuma was my close friend. I owed him my freedom even. What is this about? Is everybody gonna turn against me again? In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. You started at Japan. I guess they have to make a lot of pit stops. Yeah, it says that we're gonna stop at Hong Kong, and that's where they were gonna have the authorities take over. But Scotland Yard, that's a bit far away. I bet there would be a stop at India, and then my geography fails probably several places in Africa. The truth about how you really died and about how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Yeah, because we still have to address the fact that there is a Russian word written in ink on the floor. The fact that the door is locked. We already knew sort of what was going with that. But what else? Alright, I'll see what I can do. Hong Kong, I think, at this time was considered part of the British territory. I'm not 100% on that, though. That would make sense. There was a lot of places that were owned by Britain at that point. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. Figure this out. So then, shall we begin? Yeah, I'm kind of confused, but yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in the cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident, or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. Well, we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. It was considered a British colony from 1841 to all the way till 1997? Wow. You really don't realize how recent certain things are. Even though it's not considered to be recent anymore, it's still, it's still close enough. Holy crap. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Because it's weird that if he was writing down in his diary and his diary was at the desk, which is opposite of the way that he's laying, really. Because he would have been running or walking away from his little tatami mat area with how he fell. And the fact that of like the stage writing of the Russian word for wardrobe on the floor. Also, why would they say anything about the wardrobe in general if nobody really knew that there was a stowaway, i.e. me? Still a lot of weird things going on here. I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me. Yes, it's all starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Ms. Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hands, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. Let's save. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. You could probably use the crime scene photo specifically. Yeah, the writing in Russian. When the British occupied the island during the Opium Wars, the Treaty of Nanjing ceded the island peninsula to Britain, and Britain decided to lease the islands from China for a period of 99 years. Wow. Yeah, I think the picture with the Russian lettering is still very odd.
Yes.
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Yeah, because if he died instantly, why'd they lay his body out like this? Indeed, it is. The word writ means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? I'm gonna be scared if Hosonaga killed him. I'm so scared of this outcome. Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor, and the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Instant death. Can't write down anything on the floor when you're dead. Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Susata-san has noticed it too then. Putting the message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives away the truth. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words... could we? I mean, the mark on the floor, but... Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. The ship's log. Yeah, the half of the bell. How could half of the bell fall out and her get one side? How... There's no way that the cat would be able to have the other half still attached to its collar with the way that it broke. Because if it was truly was locked from the other side, how was she able to get half the bell? Maybe?
Yes!
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. Am I smart? I'm about to feel like that I'm not going to be smart here in a bit. There's going to be something that's going to stop me in my tracks. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all, or know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell, so we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, this is a very big flaw, a fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Ms. Pavlova? Oh, no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. That same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's... Oh. You're wasting your you are wasting time. Someone else was there? Duh, of course, we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. See, why are you sweating so much? Do you know something? Did you do something, Hosonaga? I'm scared. And only other person in cabin when young student died was you. It's true I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There was no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Sir, have you slept at all? You need to go take a nap. Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I'd been sleeping in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why wouldn't the person have taken all the pieces of the bell anyway? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin could have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? Ah. Oh, the snake's gone. Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join Is that... Are they father and daughter? Oh my god! But before she was ever dancer on the ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. No, he's not her dad, but he's very protective of her. Close enough. Father figure. Well, this is most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could get into the cabin, or go into the cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors, and yet it's impossible. Oh, he's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so that they can open and close them from the outside. Why do we have to go through this little bit, tidbit of information again? We know that's not the case, and we know exactly what happened and how the door locked. No, I'm not trying to do a Russian accent at all. It's just when you say certain words, they're gonna have that accent to go along with it, but there's no way I can carry it. Absolutely not. I am just reading the text. Thread, are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Yeah, in case you didn't figure it out earlier. But it's so obvious! It's so obvious. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight, no threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Oh my god. Naruhodo suggested it earlier. Susata-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? So Seaman Stroganov has a valid point. The cabin door could have been bolted shut from the outside. Couldn't. Is it just me, or has Shom suddenly become very serious and intelligent? I mean, he is being very specific, but he's also still being a goofy goober. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? He is being very, what is it, leading? Pointing in the right direction, if you will. A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. Yeah, this man's eccentric. He's having a good old time. He was having giggles earlier, and then he was hanging from the hooks. He's just having fun. You can't tell me you can't have fun as a detective. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Hi, Dio. Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have, so would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telltale signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. It's good that at this point they have you, once again, not have, like, the obvious being told to you. Now let's see if I am correct. Which it should just be the bookshelf and then you go off from there.
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things have toppled over? There must have been, or that must have been, that must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Also, they're not even using, since this is a steamship, they're not using an anchor? At least not here, to do an abrupt stop. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia. Inertia? Acting on the objects. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know, or that isn't in her book at least? Too far out at sea to use an anchor. That is true. That is very true. Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in the cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. It's very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. Imagine if you're not in your room and it's high sea and you're just locked out of your room for the rest of the ride due to the fact that it can't be opened from the outside because the water decided to be a little rough and then completely locked you out of your cabin. We had come into this cabin not long before and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the first of ineptia? If you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night after Mr. Asogi was killed? Yep. I wonder if the body shifted at all too due to that. Yeah, that would suck. I'm hoping that that they have some way to open the door from the outside that the crew members can do. It would be nice, but it's also a thought process of like, oh god, what if somebody can get into my room at any time? The SS Bria made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my. Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Buria made emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Yeah, because the ship's log had nothing last night. And there was no port that we stopped at the night prior, and she wasn't on the ship before that. So they did emergency stop so she could get onto the ship and then be put into the room. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh, yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you to only press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Yeah, if she wasn't here, how did Kazuma die then? But I thought I thought it was that she got onto the ship the other night. And then after she was getting settled into the cabin is when all of this transpired. But I don't know. Well, let's see how it unfolds. When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. But wouldn't anybody have noticed the alarm? No alarm went off last night, right? Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed. Whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to captain. You are in much trouble now. I'm so confused. Wouldn't have people woken up and said something about the alarm that went off if he did press the button? Is that glossing over details there? No, I'm sure that we can all wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin door slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what had happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop or did it not? Well, the thing... Actually, due to the fact that nobody heard the emergency alarms go off, could be due to the tainted chicken that everybody ate. You are idiots. Beria is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in the middle of the night, there would be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? The chicken! The tainted chicken! Somebody put melatonin in the chicken! It's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? We use the ship logs? Yes, because Biff Stroganoff at one point was not at his post to put stuff into the ship's logs. So something did happen last night.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right? Duh, this is correct. Why? And the ship's logs here, this would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with it? That is mine. You rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose, as where I always put it. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is... duh, because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Ah. That was happening. Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened. Where, here aboard the SS Bria. Something sufficiently significant, to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish. If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. It's the chicken. What of the throbbing? Sorry, what do you mean? I love that he's doing these little, like, tiny hints to put thoughts into your brain. Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Oh, yes, I have had a headache. You're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right, my head's been throbbing today, too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back into the wardrobe. Yeah, and Kazuma's the only one that didn't eat the chicken yesterday because he doesn't like chicken. So he was the only one that would have been coherent at the time. Well, that and whoever drugged the chicken. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe. And had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all this was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded the vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes, sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it. Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? We're getting into the meat of the matter, literally. My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say somebody drugged the chicken? That there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No, really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug. Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, that every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, Steven. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. It was certainly to get her on the ship, right? If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell you I will tell everything. Eh? I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything, her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You were right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. How do you notice that and still eat the chicken? We could not make all drug. How do you say dissolve? Oh, talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was held by a comrade on shore with small fishing boat. See, I told you, she wasn't there for the entirety. She got there at some point last night and all the other things transpired. But the thing is, for, like, the timing of it is still a little bit weird. Because for Kazuma to say that he had all of that happening around, like, 1:30... and she got onto the ship around 2-ish. If we're going off of the, some of the information in the court records, there's still something a little bit weird. Could maybe at the time have been off? Yeah, 123, faint whistling, and 135, the speckled band. Okay. She was helped by a comrade on shore with small fishing boat. Well, all the passengers of the SS Buria slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew people who disliked chicken, or were the crew people who disliked chicken and the newly boarded passenger, Ms. Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. Oh, okay. But that's still... When did she get on the ship, though? I guess she's been on the ship for much longer than I think that she was. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Oh, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins. After which, they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite, and accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in this morning. Or locked in the morning. Yeah, he's sounding a bit more intelligent here than he was earlier when all of his deductions were literally all over the place. This is weird. Is his own drug effect going or wearing away and he's not as silly as he was earlier? In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. Wee. You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But I don't know anything about this. I'm just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I'm a sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories we don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. Yeah, same manatees are mermaids. A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes. Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes, for observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come for one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Ah, this'll be fun. Oh, okay. We save. Back it up. So Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With the observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two, Rivaric? What word? How? What word is this? Rivaric actor? Rivaric actors? Oh no. Don't yell at me about Google pronunciation as your friend. Shut up. Hold on, fine. Is this what I absolutely love about the English language is that I can know a word. I probably know this word, but reading it is two very different. See, this one doesn't even have Google. A person who speaks falsely, liar. Give me the pronunciation, Google. Prevaricator? Prevaricator. Yes, that sounds right. Pre? Why do you put the H if you're saying the syllable is pronounced like the word pre in preschool? Fine. It's basically a fancy word for liars. God, this day and age. Living until I have, in terms of being an elf, in the day and age that we live in, and the way that words are pronounced and the way that most people speak nowadays is so much different than when it was back then. I have forgotten many things. Observation. If you remember Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with some of the scene of Mr. Osogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely, you were delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. So some of them must also have like ink somewhere on their hands, or somewhere on their body, because the ink is really hard to get rid of. All right, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Okay, chunky arms. Oh, look at that. It's so cool seeing the 3D models up close like this. I wish I could zoom out. That's so great. God, I really love her earrings. The chunky arms. Right there, ink stain. Oh, look at this. It's some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink if I'm not mistaken. Ink. Look at that color too. It's clear where this came from. Present ink. Ink stain. Oh, look at her earrings. Oh, I'm sorry. Is she missing one? Oh, I think you're right. I do think you're right that she's missing one. Either that or that's only one side earring. Wait, hold on. Does she have that earring in the pictures? Oh no, it's a different earring. It does look like she's missing one. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Ah, yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain? What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. It indeed is. Or indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright, then the evidence that proves what the stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform really is. You can use... yeah, purple ink.
Yes!
The photo. Oh my god, my eyeball hurts. Yes, it's the photograph and it's this photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ew. God, how far are we to the end now? The penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. Also, can we say that the extra line right here is also not purple? The extra line is not purple, I've noticed. The stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way, which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. All right, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like wardrobe man did it. But how did you even know I was in the wardrobe? Then I pressed button to make Bria do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Biff, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like a sheet. Biff, please, you must help me. I went with her to the door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. Yeah, beef stroganoff. Biff stroganoff. I wonder what her Nikolina Pavlova. I wonder what hers is supposed to be in terms of pun. What happened here? Please don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident, when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then returned to the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? That's still a bit of a discrepancy there. I'm gonna get going now, Peach. Have a good rest of the stream. Take care until and everyone else stay safe out there. You stay safe too, Jack. See you later. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for popping your head into the stream. The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. See, I still don't understand how they knew that I was in the wardrobe. Did they open the wardrobe at any given time? But then decided to put the note back on, or the rice paper glued note back onto the door? There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why? I already told you when Nina opened a door of student's cabin. I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Oh? Oh? Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. Didn't Shom see you with his super goggles right at the beginning of the cutscene? I don't remember. He did? But that was after the fact, when they discovered, I'm still curious about how they got in if the door was locked. I guess that doesn't matter now. But sure, Herlock Sholmes was not there when Biff Stroganoff set this entire bit up. Because then he wrote down wardrobe on the floor. Oh yeah, they broke the door. Yeah, that does make sense that they broke the door down. But there's no way that they would have known that I was in the wardrobe beforehand until Sholmes revealed I was there after the fact with his heat-seeking goggles. So how is it that Stroganoff, the crewman, knew that I was in the wardrobe for him to write down wardrobe in Russian on the floor? I understand, and I believe you. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. This photograph. I took it myself, you know. Yeah, all of it happened... all of it happened after the fact when they broke down the door, and then because Susato-sen raised concern that Asogi wasn't waking up for his usual like morning routine, and then that's when everybody piled into to this room, and then had noticed wardrobes thrown onto the floor, and that's how he went into looking at the wardrobe and finding out that Ryunosuke was inside the wardrobe with his heat-seeking goggles. The cause of death was a broken neck, therefore the victim died instantly, and the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems somewhat unnatural. Yes, someone must have told either Pavlova or Stroganov that Ryu was in there, and how else would they know? Exactly! Because the, in the court record, we have the paper seal, and he stuck it onto the, Asogi stuck it to the wardrobe with the rice paste that Ryunosuke made, and that means that nobody had opened the wardrobe last night. So then how would a Stroganoff know that I was in the wardrobe? The only other person that I could think of that could possibly had any idea that I was on the ship would have been Hosonaga, since he was basically hiding in plain sight to keep Asogi-san safe. Could it have been Hosonaga? What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well... if Kazuma tripped and fell by some terrible stroke of bad luck and broke his neck, which part of this photograph print seems unnatural? The fact that they moved his hand? It's more likely the hand, because the way that they moved his hand. So he wasn't in rigor mortis yet, either. So he was freshly dead. when they came into the room. Because his hand wouldn't be in that position if he just like normally fell. I would assume it's
Yes!
the hand. Nope. Allow me to offer you a piece of advice regarding the pursuit of detection, my dear fellow. Or, when noticing a crucial point, it can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. Gotta open up my third eyeball. Okay. So it's not specifically the hand. I think it's plain what Mr. Sholmes mean by unnatural, isn't it? The word written in a foreign language under his fingertips, surely. That particularly crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. No, I mean to identify another point. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. Would you land as the victim has? What of your... Oh, his hand is closed in the other one too, yeah? Because your hands would be open to try to catch yourself, right? Is there something in his other hand? You look like the sort of fellow who stumbles with some regularity. I stumble quite a bit. Yeah, his hands... That does make sense that his hands would be open. Totally off topic, but I need to share this. I just... Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Too good must be cheating. I have had that happen before in some video games where somebody thought I was cheating. I think it was Overwatch or something. I don't have great aim in Overwatch, but some days you can have moments where your aiming is decent. And you'll sometimes get those people who claim that you're using an aimbot when you're definitely not.
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought that occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here, we see the victim with his hands, with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. Oh? What do you mean? Oh, Sai, is this what you said? Is this why you said one of her earrings is missing? Oh. Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You said you saw the potential of her earring missing. I know that some people wear just one earring, but what if he has her earring? What if he was alive at the time that she went into his room and she pushed him? That's a possibility. You did. And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Is that an earring? Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? Sigh. Oh. Oh my God. Sigh, it's the earring. Crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Oh! And here I was thinking Hosonaga did it. I was so skeptical. Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty. What does it tell us? It tells us that he was alive when she went into the room. So to quote Sai at this moment, dude. Dude. Oh my God. I'm not so sure that crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Ah! Ah! Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? Their truth is now tantalizingly close. Because he was the only one that didn't eat the chicken, so she assumed everybody was just asleep. That is the big thing. So she would have went into the room knowing that all of these people were asleep due to the chicken being tampered with. So she would of course just go in to get her cat. But not knowing that Asogi was awake. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? Is this the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle? Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe. Find the answer with your own eyes. Oh my god. Yeah, I was wondering. Maybe I thought this in my head because yeah, she does have 2 earrings on, but one of them is missing the biggest part of the statement piece here. Oh my god. Okay, we'll take a look at the left ear first. Establish that the moon is there. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Yes, it's an earring. Wait, look. It's a crescent moon. Oh, there can be no doubt now, surely. So I can do this side. Like that. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, little pink seashells. Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear. Ah, I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring, is it? It really is tiny. Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off. So now all that's left is the clasp that attaches to the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. Okay, so do we establish the right ear or the left ear? Well, I mean, maybe I can talk to the, point out the side that's broken. I didn't mean to accidentally talk about it again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're heavy because back in the day, costume jewelry wasn't as apparent as it is now. Okay, let's present this side and see what happens. Yes! If it doesn't work, then we can go for the other side. Oh, no it does. Good. Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear, even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding it must have broken, I suppose. What? Well, looking at your other ear, I noticed a crescent moon. She probably wears them all the time, so it's probably difficult to notice that a piece is missing. In addition, there's no mirror or anything in here, so there's not many things that she can look at that would let her notice that her earring is broken. I noticed a crescent moon. I don't believe it. She's mostly turned that way too, so we don't normally see the other earring. Now that the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist, clearly there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? See, you're making all of your past deductions look like child's play and in the plays of a fool. He's changed so much in the small span of time. Did you have a nap while we were discussing things? Did you nap while we were trying to figure things out? Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. The cocaine wore off. Oh my god. I guess you could still consider this an accident, but holy crap. In other words, last night in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. Ew. Oh my god. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? And why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? I think he kind of missed it, but he said he was just fooling around before. Did he? It's quite possible that I glossed over that bit. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible long day. Darka, wait. Said everything about Ryu was a distraction. I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country, he was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin... Just a moment, sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Oh. Oh, of course, you're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. His curiosity got the better of him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Oh! He's going to pull the cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Oh, it's a big misunderstanding. Then it happened, everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then... The cat. Darka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And... as he turned around to look at me... Oh my god, right on the bed frame. I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when you went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganov, who was on duty in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Biff. If they find out, I'll be... Please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help, and that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. I'm still curious about how he knows. Yes, I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowe. Okay, so he did look around. In wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susata-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to a good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote wardrobe so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of that glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished the job. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway? Yes. Accordingly, the SS Buria did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. Died to a misunderstanding. It started off as like, oh god, he was assassinated, and then oh my god, he died tripping over a cat, and now it's more than just that, he was pushed into the bedpost frame. Yeah. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. It's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? Oh, okay. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I don't know for certain, but... he was gonna go to the wardrobe. He was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. Well, of course you wouldn't know that. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work's not done. It's not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Because he said he needed another opinion, so he was basically going to go wake me up. Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? He's still dead. This doesn't change anything. Why do we have to know exactly what he was doing? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. The cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, if there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manners of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? He was looking at the wardrobe.
Take that!
I get that she was scared, but oh my god, sucks. Considering everything that happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly besides the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? A man's great friend sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if between them they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Oh god, that's gonna live with her for the rest of her days. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. This sucks! My friend's dead! And I don't have a Maya to bring friend back occasionally so I can think about him and talk with him. Miss Pavlova. I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done? And so at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Buria. This is really interesting that there's no actual, like, court case for this. 9th January, 7:14 p.m. SS Buria, first class, cabin, passageway. Oh my god, his glasses are fixed! What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to, repatriate her? Apparently the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So he won't, or she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Steven Stroganov. I wanted to help our angel no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost good friends. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. My hands are free. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. God, now I gotta sit here where he died? It looks like my steady tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. It seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Eh? Oh, and this is how we come into possession of a sword that I've seen in pictures? Oh my god. Susato-san. No, Ryhoto-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack, you know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susato-san. This freaking sucks. This sucks so much. In classic Great Ace tradition, you get a mentor and they die for 2 cases. I gotta do 3 other cases without them. He had such grand ideas for the visit to Great Britain, so many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. He did pull a Mia! But in this case, it was more of an accident. Well, I wouldn't say a complete accident, but... it wasn't done, like, with a malicious intent like Mia was. But he did pull a Mia. But like I said, I don't have a Maya and pearls to be able to talk to him again for several other cases. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible, but now we know the truth, that it was just an accident. Well, not... I guess you could still call it an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Oh my... Oh. My duty was to see Asoki-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed. And caused his 2 closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. What the fudge? He's in the room with us, isn't he? Where is he? Is he hanging from the ceiling this time? Oh my god. How dare you? Surprise, Mr. Naruto. We're trying to have a moment here. You're ruining it? How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. That's not a great thing to think about, sir. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. That's not okay. So I decided to restore them for old time's sake, shall we say. You are a stowaway after all. Hey, he's so insensitive. Here I am suffering and he's giggling after putting manacles back on me. He thinks this is funny. I can't believe he's just been in this room the entire time, probably. Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you'll be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We had to return to Japan to make a full report about everything that's happened. Well, wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway. The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be. In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care. I don't care for me, but... Where's Susato-san? My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. I mean, technically. I'm slight lawyerish. But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Susato. Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Oh, but you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I did defend myself in high court. I'm sorry, in that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. God, Susato's gonna suplex me again, and I'm gonna be doing nothing but bookwork this entire time. She's gonna drill it into me. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo. That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? I can cram. Yeah, she's gonna suplex my face into the into the law books. There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. I mean, why the heck would he bring me along? He was passionate about it. I can't let all of that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit, too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato? Let's do it together. We can make this dream happen. I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. We can make it. So, what does our bespectacled... Oh my god. Bespectacled inspector friend say? Bespectacled. Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, it's madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating? I mean, you did see me hold my own in the court of law. I defended myself, basically. I could do it. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? You've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now, despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. As much as this is a really cool part of Sholmes, he also has some moments where he should definitely read the room, but he might also just be a special person. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, he might also be on who knows what kind of substances, as is like the real Sherlock Holmes. After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything to make up for all of my shortcomings here. Yeah, all the substances. Oh, thank you, Inspector. Thank you, sir. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report. I can't believe this. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer. Just don't suplex me into the bedpost, because I will surely die. I can't wait for you to meet the next prosecutor. I'm excited. It's so weird not having an actual, like, investigation going into the courtroom, going into investigation. The normal setup. This was all investigating, which was pretty cool. But unfortunately, we will not be seeing the next prosecutor until next week. Because this stream is the last one for the week, and I probably won't be back until possibly Tuesday. Yeah, I got stuff to do at the end of this week, and then there's also like the recuperation day of Monday. In addition, I got some planting things to do. I'm hoping. If this weekend does not kick my butt physically, I got some plant prepping to do. Yeah, there's still a lot of story to go before you jumped into the next trial. Really? Okay. Okay. Yeah, because we're going to be going through the 40 days. So I'm guessing that there might be something in between that we're going to be sticking our nostrils in. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. And Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. I love Sholmes's deduction mechanic. I might have also missed the tidbit of information, but I wish that it was a little bit more apparent that I could really that I could investigate the individual things before I present a situation. Because when you're looking really closely at the people to try to change Sholmes's perspective of things, it doesn't specifically say, unless I completely missed it, that I could click on those things that I can choose from and get more information out of it before I do a present. But I know one of you, I don't remember who it was, gave that tidbit of information, and I'm glad. Otherwise, I probably would have taken a lot longer to figure out that I could do that. I just wish it, like, said on one of the buttons down here that I could. But in return, you just have to click. I'm sure it was Kazuma-sama, or it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. The deductions were the moment all my worries about the series being 3D were washed away. Yeah, it's really nice being able to see the 3D models up close and utilize visuals for a lot of the deductions too. It's so cool. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword. That's not a great sword as in just great sword in general, because that's a katana. That's been in the Sogi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. It's a katana. It's a great sword. It's a great sword in terms that it's a good sword. So then, Miss Susato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. Book. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. At least let me sleep and pee. I can eat while I'm studying, but let me pee by myself. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, it's exactly what I need. She's gonna be merciless. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask you, of you too. Goodness, what is it? Excuse me, you did it 6 times. I've counted. Please throw me to the ground 3 times. What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to tack on 3 more of those suplexes. No, I can read while I pee, but I mean, if she's gonna be there for every minute of my studying time, I'm gonna need a little bit of time for her to be away from me so I could pee. When you're in the shower, she'll read it to you out loud. She's gonna read me bedtime stories while I'm in my sleep, and it's gonna be like the omelette du fromage, and at some point the only thing I'm gonna be able to say is objection. That's the only word I'm gonna be able to utter out of my mouth is objection. Of course, you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. No matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away at the cabin door. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you, and not just once, but 5. Add 1 more. There were 6. I swear there were 6. That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. No. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one requires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. Has anybody taken the handcuffs back off of me? Am I still in handcuffs? I observed your throwing technique several times. With great interest, I confess I was most impressed. When did he see that? Do you think that he's ever left the room? The man's a freaking chameleon. He's probably blending into the walls. Either that or he's hiding up in the ceiling with how he's been monkeying around the place. I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling? Oh, well, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of ancient jutsu technique. Ma'am, you were sumoing me? Apparently it's called the Susato takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling? I'm a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I'm a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. Don't you smack Susato! You better watch out. She'll suplex you. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored. Yeah, do it to him right now. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Not on me. Please not on me. Oh, of course. Oh, no. Man, make it 7. Make it 7. No. I knew this was gonna happen. As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Yes. Oh, yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you termed the Susato takedown, is it? Actually, no, that was the Susato squash. Oh, please don't demonstrate another one. I've lost IQ points. In my groggy state of concussionness. A scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Oh, don't do this to me. I'm already mourning that he's gone. Karuma? Look at that. That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a steady tour is more than a little irregular, surely. The Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from a katana. Kuruma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will, whatever it is. I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Little did we know that he was bringing Kazuma was bringing Ryunosuke there to get married. But now we'll never know. Important thing that he had to do. And now that you're carrying his sword, you're carrying Kazuma's soul with you, so he will always be there. Why do they have to always kill your best friend or companion? Why? They would have been great partners. I still don't know what that was. Wait, I don't know what? Oh yeah, the thing that he needed to do. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. 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 They say that in Great Britain, marriage can happen between any two people. There you go. That was the thought, the plot process. Yay, we're done. We're done with the second case, full of despair. The Runaway Room. The Adventure of the Runaway Room. Oh, I like the ensemble of pictures. The Avenger of the Clouded Kokoro. Clouded Heart. Why do they have to pull Mia? Why can't they just let these characters live? Why can't the only people who die are people you don't know that you happen to get to know on the trial lane? Like getting the story and the lore behind everything. Why does it have to be somebody that's your childhood friend and or great friend and mentor? They're gonna be roommates. Do you think that I should have... Do you think that I should have put 2 and 2 together? When you go into the special content, and I didn't see an outfit for Kazuma. Do you think that I should have taken that as foreshadowing? So bad. How could I have not noticed something so simple? That's so disappointing. But I have to say the mechanics are great. This entire setup is so good. I'm just mad. There's just some oh no, put it back. Is there some neat outfits? Outfits are only available for use in the Great Ace Attorney 2, so we would have to finish this first game before we could even use them. Gosh, she's so cute. And she's adorable. Yeah, I should have known. Okay, I shouldn't look at these. It's gonna show me characters I haven't seen before. Okay. Can't believe I didn't notice that. That should have been the first thing I've noticed. My observation skills are lacking. I didn't think that I was gonna have to do these observation skills outside of the game and inside of the gallery section of the options. Notice what I missed? I should have I should have taken into consideration that they weren't gonna have Kazuma stay with us because his outfit wouldn't be. He would have had an outfit. You would have had an outfit, Sai. And I didn't even notice until just now that, because I didn't read it, that this is only available in the Great Ace Attorney 2. I was just thinking that, oh, these are going to be outfits that you could just wear in general. Like, because of, like, DLC content. No. They didn't have Kazuma in here. I should have known. It was telling me point blank to my face that he dies and he's not gonna be here anymore. I'm mad. I'm so bad. Anyways, this is the last stream for the week. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you have the great rest of your week. I hope you take care of yourself and eat good food and sleep well and go to bed at a decent time and everything. I will be back sometime mid next week. Probably Tuesday, but we'll see. We will be doing more Ace Attorney next week. I will sprinkle some other games into the mix as well. We might go back into some of the other detective games that we were playing as well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We are going to play more Great Ace Attorney, though. Dream of great friends and cute snakes. There you go. Dream of Muffin. We all love Muffin in this house. Oh my god. I really can't believe that they're following tradition and having a Maya of the group, having a Phoenix of the group, and having a dead mentor of some sort. We have gained a different friend known as Herlock Sholmes, who may or may not be on any number of substances to create his cheery demeanor. And who knows who else we're going to encounter on our playthrough of the Great Ace Attorney. I'm excited to see who this next prosecutor is that can top Ouchie. I miss Larry. I do not miss Larry. I will gladly trade Larry for Herlock Sholmes any day. I can deal with Herlock Sholmes' shenanigans. But with that, I'm heading out now. Once again, have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to sleep and hydrate and take care of yourselves in general. Don't forget to wash your hands before you eat. Don't forget to bring hand sanitizer out with you and antibacterial wipes for any such occasion that you need to clean up your surroundings and or your own hands. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Goodbye.